Well, today we're going to talk about my top 5 beach neighborhoods in Virginia Beach or the areas around Virginia Beach. There are a lot of beach accesses, but some are getting expensive, so I'm trying to find the best values and my favorites for various reasons in all across Hampton Roads, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sam Sansalone and I'm a real estate agent in the Hampton Roads area. I do videos every week about living and moving to Virginia Beach all the way up through Williamsburg. So today we're talking about my top 5 beach communities or areas closer to beach access in and around Virginia Beach. Number 1 is Shadow Lawn. So I've talked about Shadow Lawn before in other videos. Shadow Lawn is a really nice, mostly detached single family house community in the southeastern section of Virginia Beach that's close to the ocean front itself. So if you look on the map, the ocean front, where the boardwalk is, like that 1st to 40th Street, that's right there in the center part of Virginia Beach. But if you go down south, in the southeastern corner there's a bridge, and just west of that bridge is a section off of the beach called Shadow Lawn. Now this whole area, it kind of has a little bit more of a relaxed feel to it. There aren't a lot of condo developments. There are a few pockets here and there, but mostly you've got, narrow streets, some small lots, smaller houses, bungalow style, some larger detached condos or attached condo style, no fee condo houses. And some of the charm is because there's nothing really uniform about most of the area, which I really like a lot. And at the same time, for the price, which is anywhere from as low as $200 for like a small condo, mostly from the mid-4s upwards into the $800,000-900,000 price range, you can get either walking distance or very close proximity to the beach because of the access points off of a Shadow Lawn into the oceanfront section. I like this area also because not all of it requires flood insurance, which is often a conversation with neighborhoods close to water. And one good thing about this area also is because you get closer to the area called the Vibe District, which a lot of nice restaurants up there. You're not too far away from that. Places like Commune, one of my favorites. There's an ice cream shop called Lolly's, which is, I love their ice cream. There's some nice restaurants along Norfolk Avenue on the north side of Shadow Lawn as well. A couple of which, Zeke's Beans and Bowls, and also Back Bay Brewing Company, which is next to that too. Now while we're in this neighborhood, I'm going to shift our attention just southeast to an area that is amazing for what you're paying for, which is Croatan. Croatan is one of the beaches that is off of the ocean front. There is a public access to Croatan. At the same time, you're in the neighborhood that's right next to it, so you can easily get there without having to drive around and go into the parking lot that's there in Croatan. Now, Croatan is mostly single-family houses. It feels mostly like a neighborhood. So when you're driving in, you'll notice that there are a lot of large houses in here, houses over 2,000, 3,000 and up square feet. Now, off the water, you can get houses in here 800,000 and up for the most part. At this point, if you're talking on the water, mostly $2 million and up. And you're really close to main roads, you're close to the beach, the ocean front itself if you want to go up to there with all the restaurants and activities, but you want to be feeling like you're in a neighborhood. I say Croatan is the main option for you if you want to be that close to the beach. A lot of these houses were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You'll see some new construction that has been developed in the last 10-15 years as well, but most of them are a little bit older, and so you'll see a little bit more dated elements to some of these houses because some of them might not have been touched since they started building. And some of these go from 3,000, 4,000, and 5-ish plus thousand square feet. So some of these are pretty big, part of what you're paying for with the price, but you're also paying for that access to the beach. Now, going towards the west, if you don't want the oceanfront itself and want to pay the prices for the oceanfront, there are some pivot points I think are very important to keep in mind if you want beach access or close to it. And so the next area is actually going to be in Hampton called Buckrow Beach. So when I say Buckrow Beach, there will be some people that will cringe when I say it. What I'm telling you is I am a firm believer in the appreciation potential of Buckrow Beach. And Buckrow Beach is not nearly the same size beach as the oceanfront in Virginia Beach or even other parts of Virginia Beach. That's not the draw to Buckrow Beach. Number 1, Buckrow Beach is, I'd say, the largest and the most accessible beach option on the peninsula of Hampton Roads. So anywhere in Hampton, this is the primary place to go. It's a pretty decent sized beach for the general area that it's in. Now, if you drive into the area, you'll notice that the areas feel very different depending on where you are. So you kind of have to watch and determine what you want your environment to be like when you live in your area. So in the area, you've got some newer condo or townhouse style houses right near the front of Buckrow Beach. And then around there, you've got more townhouses, single family houses on the water. A lot of them built a bit older, like 50s, 60s, 70s, and sometimes in the 80s. But then if you come off the beach a little bit, just a few blocks, you'll see more bungalow style. The 1940s, 50s houses, 2-3 bedrooms. And these are off the beach, a few blocks, you'll see rows and rows of these smaller, kind of less developed neighborhoods that feel older, but they're very close to the beach. So you can walk towards the beach in a few blocks. And you'll notice that also the house prices are lower here. You're talking under $2 sometimes, $250, $300 for those smaller bungalows, and then you're talking $3, $4, and $5 for as you get closer to the water or these larger townhouses. Now granted, on the water you're still talking over $5, $6, and $7, but some of these other houses in the area called Salt Ponds, which is just north of the actual Buckrow Beach, these are a bit higher, $7, $8, and up. And that area feels like a little bit more a beach neighborhood that you might expect as well. So there are different ages, different styles, different feels all across Buckrow Beach, and that's part of why you get some value here. Now right now there's parking off Buckrow Beach that's free. They're talking about doing though is charging for parking, which might influence how many people show up to this beach, how many people come and bring their car, all that kind of thing. It might change the dynamic to a certain extent, but right now it's all free parking. We'll see how, if they do implement paid parking, how that changes the feel of the area. There's been a negative connotation to Buckrow Beach in the past. Here is a big reason why I think Buckrow Beach is a big potential appreciation get for this area in Hampton. The Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, which connects from Hampton and Newport News down to Norfolk and Virginia Beach, is doubling in size. It'll likely be done in the next 3 or so years. Then they're going to renovate the old tunnel, basically doubling the size of the traffic going to Hampton and Newport News from Norfolk and vice versa. The reason this matters is because part of the reason why people don't choose Hampton and Newport News over places like Norfolk and Virginia Beach if they live on that side is because the tunnel is often congested so bad. It can often take 10, 20 minutes longer, 30 minutes to an hour or more longer than expected because of backups in that tunnel. I think that once this tunnel is finished, I think that the traffic will decrease, make it easier to go back and forth, and I think that as people notice the value to be had in Hampton and Newport News for the price, I think people might pivot from there as opposed to maybe just staying in Norfolk, for example. So I do think there's some appreciation here to be had if you buy and hold long enough, if you can wait for this tunnel expansion to be finished. Now let's go back across the bay to the other side in Norfolk. Ocean View is the next one in Norfolk on the Chesapeake Bay. I think this one's got some awesome value as well. So this area, if you look on the map, going from the far west side, the northwest side of Norfolk, stretching all the way across to right where Norfolk ends, that whole section people could technically say is considered Ocean View. It's a pretty big area. It goes back away from the water as well. And so you've got Willoughby Spit on the far west side, you've got East Beach on the far east side of this area, and bookended in that is all Ocean View. It's hard to find a house on the water anything less than $900 to $1 million at this point. But for the price in which you're getting on the water, on the beach, that's pretty hard to find. Now off the water you can still pay a lot, $7, $8, $9, $1 million and up based on maybe you get a bigger house, a multi-family for example. But a lot of these neighborhoods have houses still in the $300, $400, $500 price range, upwards of $6 and $7 sometimes, depending on what kind of house you're looking for. You can see things changing in this Ocean View area, especially on the east side where East Beach is. There are a lot of new construction over there, restaurants being built over there, great little small neighborhoods in there, and also some old multi-family houses too. So you get a mixture pretty close to access to the beach. There's some condo neighborhoods in here. You can get a condo neighborhood in here and $200,000 and under sometimes. So you get pretty much all the options as far as price ranges, types of houses, condos, townhouses, single family houses. Now if you get pivoting over, you got East Beach in that corner, which is a premier neighborhood built just recently that is a totally different feel than the rest of Ocean View. And next to that is Bay Point, also has a nice feel to it as well. Now one of the drawbacks of this area though is the flooding issues in certain parts of Ocean View, especially if you go just south off the water in an area near Pretty Lake. There are some tidal issues in this section, so depending on which street you're on, as the tide rises, whether it be a storm, sometimes not, you'll see water rise, and flooding can be a problem in certain streets in Ocean View. So just check flood insurance, check the maps, talk to your insurance company and see what quotes might look like for flood insurance if you need it. Now that leads me to number 5, which I think is, for Virginia Beach, one of the values of the city is the area between Chicks Beach on the northwest side of Virginia Beach all the way to Pelican Dunes and Ocean Park on the east side of this section. In that I include Ocean Park, Bay Lake Pines, Bay Lake Beach. This area is awesome for beach access. Chicks Beach itself has almost like a feel like Shadowline, where you've got individual houses, sometimes no-fee condos, attached houses, houses on the water that are upwards over $1 million. But off the water, you can get houses in the $8, $7, $6, $500,000 price range a lot of times. And if the further away from the water you can get them cheaper than that, especially condos. But then next to that, you'll see an area called Bay Lake Pines, which is mostly a brick ranch neighborhood that gives you access to the beach as well. This area, $800,000, $900,000 and for the most part, but then if you go north of that, Bay Lake Beach, that area is on the water. Then going further east from there, places like Aries on the Bay, Pelican Dunes, Ocean Park. This whole section has also beach access as well, depending on where you are in the neighborhoods. Then some of these are townhouses, some of these are condos, attached condos. And then you've got places like Aries on the Bay where you've got townhouses that are, I think, for the value, for the money, $400, $450 price range, to get access to the water this easily is mucho primo. Then you've got a lot of houses in Ocean Park that are no condos, just, you know, it's just a kind of a beach community. You'll see a lot of windy roads, small narrow spots to turn around in. It's kind of hard to get around sometimes with a car, but you're getting that close access to the beach. Now, one of the best parts about being in this area, whether it be Ocean Park, Pelican Dunes, Areas on the Bay, all this whole area, is the prices. Now, in Ocean Park itself, you're talking mostly between $600,000 and $750,000, maybe $800,000 ish. So that's just off the water, but you're very close walking distance to the beach. Now, if you're coming off the water, across where Shore Drive is in the south part, a lot of that area is considered Ocean Park as well. Those get closer into the $5s range. Now, again, you have to cross Shore Drive to get to the beach. There are some access points and crosswalks across to that side, but they're not as convenient. So you do have to pay a little bit more of a premium to go on the north side, on the beach side. Now, because it's such a random style area, you've got all different types of houses, different age of houses, anywhere from like the 50s, 60s, 70s. You've got new construction, you got the whole thing. So areas can feel different. There are other condo areas as well. Three Ships Landing, Bay Vista, Water Oaks, Vintage Point. Water Oaks has beach access right there, and you're paying more in condo fees, but you've got a higher like flood insurance premium, but you're also getting a pool. It's a real nice spot in that corner in the Ocean Park area. Now, if you have more questions about beach living or living in the general area of Virginia Beach all the way up through Williamsburg, I've got videos here that talk to you more about the details of what it's like to live in these areas. And if you want to relocate to this area, please let me know. I've got my contact information in the description. You can reach out to me at any point and I'll do whatever I can to help you relocate to this area. And I will see you on the next video.